like to call the meeting to order. Can I have roll call, please?
Mr. Antoine?
Here.
Mrs. Bonnick?
Here.
Mr. Connor is absent with notice. Mr. Demas is absent with notice. Mrs. Zykorst?
Here.
I am here, and Mr. Young is absent with notice.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved. Oh, I second.
All right, moved by Eichhorst, supported by Rice. Any questions or concerns?
No.
Dr. Robinson, did you get my email? I know it was after my workday, so it might have, about the curriculum report.
I did not.
Okay. It was that I was not present, so I don't want to do the report.
I
So if
brought-
someone else who can do that,
Yeah,
can read that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Moving on to the Bulldog Spotlight.
Couple things for you tonight. We'll ramp back up with the spotlight now. Once we get staff and students back, we'll be able to engage them beginning in September. But we do have a couple things we'd like to put the spotlight on tonight. I'm going to start and welcome Kristen Stewart up to the podium, our Director of Food Service. And she's going to give a recap of the summer feeding program that we had here in the district. So I'll click for you and
Great.
you tell all the great news.
Okay. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share with you some of the great things we were able to do in food service this summer. So we did a weekly meal pickup. It was a 7-day meal pack. So we had 7 days worth of breakfast and 7 days worth of lunches. We were able to add a lot of fresh fruits, vegetables, produce, meals for our family, and we ran this for 10 weeks over the summer. Initially, we were unsure of participation. We haven't done this in Romeo schools in a little while, but we were amazed with our turnout. So we were able to serve around 300 to 450 children each week. We did 3,417 meal packs over the 10 weeks. And like I said, in each of those meal packs were 7 breakfasts and 7 lunches, which ended up being, I'm going to make a correction to that screen. We ultimately ended up with 53,438 meals over summer. So we had a lot of appreciation from the community. A lot of our families were telling us how they had dual incomes and just stretched very thin. And I received numerous emails asking if we could continue this in years to come. So again, thank you for allowing us to do that. Do any of you have any questions? Okay.
I think we have some quotes, right?
Some quotes, yeah. And
Yeah.
so these were quotes for some of our families here in Romeo schools, just attesting to the impact that the program had on their families.
So, Kristen, in addition to the meal pickup plan, you also serviced our summer programs as well, right?
So we did, yeah.
Yeah.
So we were able to offer both breakfast and lunch to our summer school students also. So a lot of meals for us, and we're really grateful to be here and serving our community.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that, and tell your staff that worked all summer, we appreciate their help.
I
Thank
do have a
you.
quick question
Oh,
now that I'm
sure.
reading this. Did they have to reserve in advance? Because I see one said they were able to pick up a few times. So it wasn't something where they committed and they picked up every time? It was more of a drop-in?
Correct, yeah. So we just offered the program. Anybody who wanted to come could come. They did not have to commit in advance, and we just served the entire community. So for that one in particular, I think they just were receiving a lot of food and only needed to come every other week.
I just wondered, like, how did you plan then? Because if you didn't.
Oh,
know the
very
numbers.
carefully,
And
like
that's
we
where I'm
do
like-
in food service. No, it is all just an educated guess, and each week we look at our numbers and decide if we go up or if we stay the same.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were able to service the community how they needed it.
Did you find you had a lot of waste from week to week? I mean, it's probably hard to avoid none, but
Actually, no, we did not have a lot of waste. Many of the products carry over, and any of the products that could not carry over, we were able to service our students in our sports
Okay.
or any of the students that were in the building. We just offered more fruits, vegetables, meals to those students.
Does this continue to be a program with no stipulations where we don't qualify for, financial assistance? That anybody, even if they have the means to purchase their own groceries, can come and pick up unlimited amounts of food?
So summer meals will always be that way in all, across all of Michigan, in all counties.
And our tax dollars are paying for all that.
So that is how summer meals work. But again, I will tell you that those who participated were not individuals who were truly looking to take from the community. Many of them were expressing, within great depths, the need that they had.
Yeah, I go to the grocery store every week. There's a need.
Yeah.
I think if anything, we've talked about this, of course, we know during the pandemic, some of these things were a little bit more directed. And so we've talked about a summer meals program really for several years. And you can make speculation and things like that as to the level of need. Will we get participation? And if anything, we were probably overwhelmed with the volume of participation
Yeah.
that we had. And so, there's a level of need, and it's a program that, you have to apply and be approved for. And so I'm grateful that you guys were able to do that.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Anything
you.
else? All right. So those of you that were at the study session, I guess, got a little bit of a sneak peek to this spotlight because we had our middle school admin team there. But we're excited to formally introduce to the community our new assistant principal at Romeo Middle School, Mr. Jason Eldridge. So Mr. Eldridge is coming to us from the Oxford School District. So he's been a neighboring educator for many years. So Jason, I don't know if you want to step up to the podium and share a couple thoughts with the board and the community.
Sorry.
They told me that was some kind of a joke. Really, the only thing I wanted to come up here and say was just, I've been here for a few weeks now, and I just want to say that this community has already, wrapped its arm around me and encouraged me, and, smiling faces around everywhere, and just the number of connections I've already made, people from the past or people I've gone to high school with who now work here. It's just, even this morning, it's just been crazy seeing those people again. And again, thank you for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to helping serve the community.
All right. Well, welcome.
Welcome.
Tradition of handshakes.
Welcome aboard.
Mrs. Bonnick, why don't we come over here and do our
Oh, we're doing a picture.
smaller group?
Make sure you don't chop somebody's head off.
And that's our spotlight for tonight.
All right, moving on to consent action. Can I have a motion? Moved by Iker, supported by Antoine. Are there any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? That's okay. Motion carries. That was 4 ayes. Okay. Moving on to informational updates. We had communication in our board packet Well, I'll let Dr. Robinson, I realize he's prepped.
Yes. So a couple things. We spoke at the July meeting about the request from the MASB to designate our assembly delegate. I know Mr. Connor's still coming back from his surgery, so he's expressed interest in attending the conference. And I know Mrs. Bonnick had asked if any others were interested in going to the fall conference. So I'll leave it to you, Mrs. Bonnick, to get us a delegate and
Yes, Wayne is the only one. I am attending as well on behalf of my job, so I will be there. So unless
What are
any.
the dates again?
October,
24th.
it leads into the Michigan U of M game. That's what I remember because it's in Lansing and,
24th to 26th.
yes. Are you possibly interested?
I will check, get back to you.
Okay, well then let's wait and, right, we still have time. We have to identify by the 30th. Okay, well, let's do this. You
have
can
a-
still go.
Yep.
We just need one to identify a voting member.
Yep.
So if it's okay, we
Mr.
will
Connor down.
go ahead and say Connor, and we'll put me as an alternate, just because I will be there if he couldn't go to vote. But
Okay.
you can still go and attend.
Okay.
Does that work for you? Yes, okay.
Next, we had a letter, we've got a new nonprofit group in the community that's actually coming back. It's been several years since the Romeo area had an Optimist Club. I'm very familiar with the Optimist Club from my work in the Avondale School District and the Auburn Hills Optimist Club. So I was telling our guests that a little over a year ago, I read an article in the Macomb Daily that there was an effort to restart the Romeo Optimist Club. So I reached out and just offered support, and they've been on a journey to become, I think, a designated club or some formal certification. So they had enough membership, I think, in June, that the club is official now. And my experience was the Optimist Club they were great supporters of the local school district, but they also run a couple of very unique events that are specific to the Optimists that really go to a national level, and in some cases scholarships and things like that. Well, they're just getting their foot in the door and starting, so we're grateful that they've made a $1,000 donation, and they've asked that support elementary school kids who need some help with school supplies this year. So we've sent that out, $200 to each of our elementary buildings. And we'll have the principals and those folks who know the families help those that might need that, if not right now, in the first, several weeks of the school year. So Mr. Roshan is here. Mr. Roshan, if you want to come up and share a few thoughts about the club with the board, we'd be happy to.
Thank you.
welcome
Good
you.
evening. We formed June 12th. We're part of the International Optimist Club out of St. Louis. There's 3,000 clubs throughout the U.S. and Canada and some foreign countries. We meet twice a month, the first and third Tuesday at the Romeo Community Center, the West Room. And although we've only been active for 2 months, we did do fundraising with a rummage sale. A number of us went to the air show and flipped burgers and hot dogs. And that's how we raised the $1,000 to give to the elementary schools. But we also contributed to Macomb Family Services, the Romeo branch, for their Fill a Book Bag. So our hope is next year, as we do fundraising, that we'll be able to up the ante, so to speak. And optimists are all about the kids. And our long-range goal is to try to establish a junior optimist club in the high school. Farmington Hills has one. There was one in the Utica. I don't know if it's still active. OCC, and get these high school students active in the Optimists. And they do their own fundraising to support their fellow students. It's not for the elementary. So thank you, and wish we could have given more.
Oh, that's all right. We're appreciative. Thank you. Yeah.
I just wanted to say I'm really a friend of the youth, as well as in the community where I worked. I was on the Optimist Club for over 20 years, sat in various positions, directors' meetings, was president in the community. It was just a great organization. I believe in it. I like what they do, and I'm glad to see that Romeo's getting theirs back together. So thank you.
And then last but not least, the board just received a thank you letter for a scholarship from one of our graduating seniors. That's it for communications.
All right, moving on to subcommittee reports. Our policy committee met on July 25th, and as you see in your consent action tonight, we did approve 3 policies that I shouldn't say that, we did the first reading of those policies. For everybody's edification in the audience, we do 2 readings for policies, so that way our subcommittee looks at it, decides what needs to go forward to the full board. We do a full reading, and then there's time in between still for questions, concerns, clarifications, those types of things before it becomes approved at the second reading. So the ones tonight that we did was policy 1004, which was just clarifying a conflict between policies and administrative regulations. 3005, which has to do with selection of media center and library materials. 3006, which has to do with parental objections. 4005, which is kind of clarifying what type of political activities can happen in our schools. And then a new policy on digital communications. And then the committee met a second time, and that's when I was out of the country. So I don't know if there was much on that one to really report out.
There was a couple of these policies that we had some homework to do for the
Okay.
policy committee, and we went back and sought out the clarifications and came back. And then there was also some policies that we're waiting for more clarification
Right.
from our legal counsel, our policy provider, that they weren't received before the August 19th meeting, I think it was. So we'll just move forward and bring them back to the committee when we hear from legal counsel. There was a few other policy optional recommendations in the update that the committee just felt our existing policy was acceptable. So,
Correct. And those minutes were sent out from the July 25th.
yes, from both.
Moving on to safety.
Okay, so our safety committee was held on July 29th. It was a committee of the whole. We had a discussion item of the sex shield update where the committee really felt strongly to discuss potentially expanding the current sex shield contract to include a director of safety and security in lieu of the manager of safety and security. So that would be an elevated position where the director would handle really sort of all of the day-to-day operations, and then everybody would report to him or her, whoever that contract went out to. I believe we may have.
What's on tonight's agenda
It's
to
on,
approve?
well,
Yeah.
it's on tonight's agenda to approve. So they're doing a lot of work there. We also discussed the fact that we have the same amount of staff members as we did with
Safe.
Safe Ed. So there's no lack of security personnel in the schools at this time. We really talked about start of the school year and what that looks like, and our safety focus areas. There was a tabletop exercise held June 14th, where the 15 emergency response agency representatives, they were in attendance, and they looked at comprehensive notes throughout past school year to make sure that we didn't have any gaps or what we could do better through that school year. It was really sort of a teamwork exercise, that one was. And that's really the gist of what we had planned for that particular meeting for safety.
Curriculum?
I attended I am part of the curriculum committee, and it was a short meeting. One of the topics was that we needed to request approval, which is on our agenda tonight, on our resolution tonight, resolution number 66, for our managerial accounting textbook. That textbook, the current textbook it works well for accounting 1, but the staff has determined that there's a need to go deeper into analysis, decision-making, worldwide applications, and this new textbook will cover it. This will also support competencies 2 and 3 within the CTE accounting standards, which is important for us if we want to continue to get some funding to support those programs. In addition, we were given an update or a overview of what was done for the summer programs. And K-5, we had 182 students entering the 1st through the 5th grade that had work in ELA, math, and English. We used all of our own staff for the summer program, so we're grateful for that. And then we also did some high-dosage tutoring for small groups with teachers, and we had about 32 students for that. We offered credit recovery for our students going from the 9th and 10th, students mostly exiting the 9th and 10th grade so that they can get up their credit hours for the program. And last but not least, later on, or on August 12th, we just received an update. We had a workshop session with in the middle school. Romeo Middle School was present. I didn't say that incorrect this time. I wanted to make sure. And they went through an overview of the different programs that they were doing and how they're going to get this year kicked off. And we felt the excitement from the staff there, and we appreciated their time at that meeting. So thank you.
Moving on to facilities.
That would be me again.
Okay.
And I'm happy to. Number of change orders. We have a lot of projects going on in the district right now. Some may say maybe too many with the number of contractors that are available or not available. But they're getting through the product, and we have a great team with Bart Mallow out there overseeing our projects. There were, at the facilities committee meeting, there were a number of change orders that the district had approved, and you could see in your minutes. I'm not going to go through each one individually. As you go underground and you start to do work underground, you just never know what you're going to get. And I've experienced this myself in my own district. As much as the construction manager will do and try to figure out what's under there and the cost it's going to be, they never get it right, because you just don't know what's going on. So that's the bulk of these, or the number of these change orders, has to do with that kind of work that was done. Another one of the change orders was the baseball, softball field. That was to increase the access to the egress of the emergency vehicles that would need to get in and out of that area should there be an emergency in that complex. So that was taken care of. Now tonight we have on our resolution some large change orders that again are at the Romeo Middle School, and it's at where they're building the new robotics facility and trying to get that ground stable enough to build on it. It was determined through third-party testing that we would have to do what's called some additional undercutting of that to make that area stable enough to put asphalt down or footings in for the new building or what have you. So we got an explanation on that. that change order is a lot of money. It's $151,000+. But it is needed. And if you've been out in the back of the north side of Romeo Middle School, it's very hilly, it's up and down, and so we need to get that stable. With the amount of rain that we've had, that certainly didn't help. We possibly could have waited for it to dry out, but there's no guarantees. And then that would take longer. We wouldn't have access to those parking spots for the school year and that. So we worked on that. And then there at Croswell, there's a change order for $41,000 and some dollars to fix some elevation discrepancies for the drainage off of the building.
Playground.
For the playground, in the playground area. So that's gonna be taken care of as well. And also included in the change order is the training rooms that we're putting together at Croswell for staff training. There are going to be a couple meeting rooms that can be used for training staff, holding large meetings. And the nice thing, or one thing that the question was answered before I even asked it, is the cost for this is $63,000. But it does fall in line with a contract that we issued to the vendor in 2022, and he is matching that pricing. So we're happy about that. And then we were given a director's report, and we got some information about some service and repairs for the Romeo High School parking lot. And so we have a change order in our it's part of the resolution for the change orders for $149,000. So that's to fill parking lots. Parking lots are constantly needing to be serviced in schools all the time. They're either crack filling or seal coating them or painting them, or it's just something that's always have to take care of if you want to have good looking properties. Hamilton Parsons well project, the well has been replaced, it's operational. It was going through some testing the last that we've heard. We're very excited about the progress and what that has done, and that it was able to get completed before the school year started. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Very good, thank you. Moving on to the superintendent's report.
So just upcoming subcommittee meetings, September 9th for facilities, September 16th for the finance subcommittee, and the safety subcommittee will meet again on October 7th. Academic services.
Good evening. I have a few items to update you on tonight. First and foremost, we had our new dogs in town here last week. 21 teachers and one who was hired mid-year last year for 22 came here, and we put them through a battery of learning related to being a new employee and also a new teacher. I don't know, Dr. Robinson, if you want to flip forward. Okay, there's our new dogs. We gave them all those bright red shirts, not in a hazing type attempt, but just so in a sea of teachers like this morning, they can kind of stand out and they know that they aren't although they are the new dogs in town, they aren't the only new dogs in town. So that was excellent. Lakeshore Learning giveaway. During new teacher orientation, we had teachers who were new last year come back and, kind of provided, some panel discussion, answer some questions. We fed them really well, I might add. I know because I benefited from that. Device and key distribution. We talked about retirement, although it's so far away for them, you can never start too early. Payroll benefits, and Dr. Robinson stopped by as well to send them off into our schools the right way. So it was a good time together, and it was nice to see all of them wearing their bright red shirts this morning. So we did welcome all teachers back officially today. Had our district kickoff, and then they were able to go back to their home buildings and do some work in their classrooms. Tomorrow, professional development starts, so we have 2 full days of PD at the elementary level. Tomorrow is a focus on maintaining the healthy cultures that we have built within our schools. The majority of the buildings are just continuing to build upon what they've already started, whether that be Leader in Me, Caring School Community. We Are One at Hevel, Amanda Moore. They're working through just a leadership transition, right? Everybody getting to know each other. And so exciting times there. Also, we're going to dive deeper into our teacher observation evaluation tool, 5D Plus and Romeo. We treat it not just as an end evaluation, right? We really truly treat it as a growth tool. And last year was just really trying to figure out the nuts and bolts and operationalize the system so everybody knew how it worked. But we're going to spend a good amount of time early this year diving actually into the indicators and the verbiage that's in there. So there's a common understanding of what that high-quality teaching looks like, so we can work together to strive to achieve that, right? When teachers get better, kids get better. And so we're working on that. And then we are already a math IXL district. We use IXL as a curricular supplement, right? It's a gap filler. Personalized to each student. They're able to take some diagnostic testing at prescribed times, and then the program itself, through algorithms, creates a tailor-made growth plan for them. Our administrators and teachers have decided that they want to try this for IXL, for ELA as well, and so we are going through the throes of professional development and learning around how IXL ELA can be executed in the classroom, while allowing teachers to work with small groups of children, and have kids again continue to strive to be their personal best. So I can turn over to Jennifer, who will talk a little bit about capturing kids' hearts and then what's going on at the secondary level.
Thank you, Rob. Hamilton Parsons and Romeo Middle School, the next 2 days are going to be embedded in the work of capturing kids' hearts. So we had 3 team members from Hampower and 3 from Romeo Middle School last March attend a session that introduced them to the model of capturing kids' hearts, and both Miss Rita and Brad came back and said, yes, we must do this. So I know the middle school's all pumped up. Brad's already been communicating with his presenter several times over the last day and a half, and I know Rita's staff is equally excited. I can't wait to see the results when our students come in on September 3rd. It really focuses in on adult behavior and how we talk to one another and how we talk to kids. So it's pretty powerful. Romeo High School, they are getting back to what they had done a couple years ago in their teacher-led sessions. So our teachers came forward from the high school and pitched things that they were, was their strength, and they wanted to share it with others. So there's some Schoology, which is the learning management platform for the high school, sessions around student engagement in a variety of ways, vertical alignment, so the math department meeting and aligning 9, 10, 11, 12, working with English learners, tech tools, a variety of tech tools, and then on Wednesday, all of our English teachers through the 9-12 grades will be getting their professional development into literature, the new ELA curriculum that was approved May, June. So exciting. Rob talked a little bit about 5D. The high school has gone and aligned some of the indicators within the 5D model to all their sessions. So teachers can kind of build the why and the purpose. Oh, if I attend this session, these are some of the indicators that I might think about when designing lessons. So pretty slick. Rob and I actually met today with 2 of the math consultants at the intermediate school district. We will be embarking on a K-12 curriculum review in math. So we plotted out some dates and some strategies with Scott and Nick, who are the math consultants, and they had some good ideas, and we shared some successes we've had in the past, and so I'm excited. I think Rob is too, about working together with them. And then our world languages, those are 8th grade through high school. They'll be undergoing a curriculum review as well. I think that's my last slide. Oh no. So these are all the people that we hired holy moly. And we still have some that we'll share on the next slide, but a lot of new people, either year one or year two, but we have some veterans as well, so it was a nice balance that they could share throughout new teacher orientation. Examples of things that they had done. Lots of really good questions. I don't know, there was just an energy in the room. I know when you came, but they were all in. Like I'd say, hey, let's do this. Okay. They'd get up and, they do it, and just exciting to hear them talk. I think this is the most we've had at the high school in a while, and 4 of the 7 are English teachers. So yay. So we still have some vacancies. So Dr. Robinson, did you want me to talk about these, or?
I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions for Robert, Jennifer, on the other updates?
No, I just want to say thank you for all the work that you do, because I know it's hard. A lot of districts scramble at the end to fill in these positions, but I see you guys working hard in the spring to give these teachers enough lead time. So that's appreciated from a teacher standpoint, and then, of course, the kids benefit from that as well.
So, we've heard over the past probably 3 to 5 years about pending teacher shortage, not just in Michigan, but across the country. And I think this hiring season, we're beginning to see some of those areas that have the lowest amount of candidates. So our 2 remaining teaching vacancies are really in those areas that it's just simply harder to find candidates. So we do have a current math vacancy that's in process, and we also have a special education teaching position, and that position also is looking for someone that has math certification, which is one of the hardest areas to find. And I would tell you that the fruits of our labor work well, but when we get requests for leaves at the beginning of August or the middle of August, it leads to a situation where you're still looking for teachers. So we don't alter our process. We'll follow our process the best we can. Sometimes we condense it into just a few days, like Mr. Eldridge experienced. But we stick to it, and I'm hopeful to have these positions filled in the coming week or two. The high school staff is planning to begin the year with substitute teachers, and those subs will get support from teachers in the departments to make sure that we can hit the ground running. In terms of support staff, this is probably as much of a promotional advertisement as it is an update for the board. So if you go on the employment tab of Romeo Community Schools, you can see all the vacancies that we have. We currently still have a few paraprofessional positions that we're looking to fill. We had a couple of vacancies, and some of our parapros chose to go to a different job for this school year, so we're trying to backfill. We were down the road with a school nurse, and it just didn't seem like the right fit for that finalist. So we've re-engaged that process. We're looking to fill that in the next week or two. We have vacancies in early childhood. Mrs. Beck and Mrs. McVetti are trying to expand our SAC services to get reopened at Indian Hills, and also to hire more staff because we have numbers of families interested on a wait list. The LARA licensing requirements limit the number of kids that can be there based on the number of adults that we have. So we have to stay in ratio, and I know this is frustrating for families that are looking for the latchkey services and we're unable, but we just need help to find some good people so that we can give everybody the services that they want. There are some positions at Croswell in the early childhood program. We're still looking for a bus driver or 2. Food service has some vacancies. And then this time of year, we're always trying to scale up for substitute teachers through EduStaff, whether that's on call and picking the days you want to sub, or if you're interested in building sub or long-term sub work if you're a certified teacher. And then finally, I think the elementary principals would ask me to implore folks in the community, if you're just looking to work a little bit, noon hour or lunchtime aides at all of our elementary schools. We can never have enough. So reach out to employee services. If you specifically with this noon hour lunchroom aids, if it's a specific building, you can reach out to the principal, and they'll get you in the right spot. So we're in a good shape, but we always need help, especially this time of year. So if you're interested, reach out and we'll find the right place for you. I have a couple other things in the update tonight. First of all, in terms of construction, our Group 2 projects, you heard a little bit from Mr. Antoine on some connections to that. These are our projects from the 2021 bond that are in the construction phase. So Croswell, that renovation has actually been 20 months. And so we'll complete that, especially the student learning portion of the building, the renovation of the old media center and computer lab to our district training and meeting rooms will take the better portion of this fall. But we're almost there for our preschool, early childhood students to return next week. And that playground got their fancy port-in-place surface today, and the engineered wood fiber will go in tomorrow. And if you got young kids, that's a place to stop by and let your kids have some fun. The middle school STEM and robotics center is definitely on track. We did deal with some issues with the heavy rains of this summer, but that project is on track for hopefully by January 1 and the start of the formal high school robotics season that center will be open. And then we have, a variety of site work, athletic and north parking lot improvements. Mr. Martz is happy to report that he had the first layer of asphalt for Bulldog Days, and he'll get the final layer of asphalt on that parking lot prior to the start of school. And, if you spent a lot of time when that was the high school and that, on the baseball field or you parking there when your kids had events, I would just encourage you, swing through there on a weekend and see, because it's really interesting how you can take a site and restructure it and move things around and get a site that used to have two kind of hills in it and make it look as close to flat as possible. So that site work will not be complete until this spring, but we'll work to get as much as we can done before winter and then pick up just as winter breaks. And that will include track for our middle school track team and also a grass field for middle school football and other sports, be a physical education teaching place. So we're hopeful to maybe use the track this spring. That field will probably take until the fall to mature enough for us to be on it. Amanda Moore and Washington both have specialty classroom additions that we're plugging through, and we're looking to get online, hopefully by Thanksgiving, if not by the first of the year. We did some renovation in the Hevel STEM room, and that's going to be completed for the start of this school year. So that's an update on our big construction projects for this past summer and into the school year. Group 3 projects are in the design phase. This building will actually go through a significant classroom renovation. So you're sitting in the media center, this in the collaboration space in the main office were done as a part of the 2016 bond. Renovation to classrooms, building some new science classrooms here, redoing the locker room. It's a large, probably 18-month project that'll begin as school gets out next year. And so next summer, we'll be meeting somewhere else because this place will be under construction. We're also doing a locker room renovation at the middle school that'll start next summer. And then all of our elementaries, we're working through some final decisions on playground renovation, which would be kind of phase 1, and then building renovation, which is primarily the media centers, that would be kind of phase 2 of media center work. And with our dollars not going as far in this bond, our elementary principals and our architect and our construction team, we're making some final decisions about potentially clustering the funds we have left in the 2021 bond to focus on one or the other. And if I gave you a little tip, I think the playgrounds are going to win out, and we're going to focus on our dollars on that. I would encourage the staff our community to keep an eye on our bond projects page. We're in the final stages of updating that page that we'll have these picture window viewer things, and we'll keep, every 2 months, we'll give updated progress pictures of the projects that are under construction. When things are in design, if we have architectural schematic drawings or something like that, we'll put those up there. And then we'll also have historical view of the projects that we've completed from the 2021 bond. So we're almost there. We've got the pictures in that up to date. We just got to get everything up and running on the webpage. And then we're actually moving this fall into future bond planning. Our financial advisors, we've worked with them, and we have the opportunity to ask the community to support a smaller bond than those that we had in 2016 or 2021. And this will allow us, of course, to address the deferred projects from the 2021 bond, also some long-term projects from our facilities assessment, and some funds that we can address some of the newer needs of the district. So this fall, we'll be working on that. The community, our parents will hear more. That could be through the opportunity to participate in focus groups, potentially some surveying, and we're looking to potentially push that bond proposal out in May of 2025. So more to come on that. Finally, school safety. Just want to clarify that we had worked for a couple years with SafeEd as our school supervision and security staff provider. Last March, SafeEd was acquired by SEC, Secure Environment Consultants, and the school supervision division of SEC is called SHIELD. And so now SHIELD is providing the same services that we had under SafeEd. They assumed the 3-year contract that we had, and we're in the 3rd year, and we'll work with them probably after the first of the year on extending that contract. Mrs. Rice talked about in the Safety Committee report, we have a resolution tonight to expand our contract with SHIELD with the potential of bringing a director of school safety and security on staff. That individual would be a SHIELD employee, but they would be contracted to work here in Romeo. And last, for school safety, we made a commitment in 2021 when we trained our entire staff in our active violence, active shooter protocol that we would do a full retraining every 3 years. So we've continued to train our new staff and offer makeup training for the past few years. But this year we'll be investing the time to take all of our employees through the full training. We'll take care of that on our professional development days. That will begin as soon as Wednesday for a bulk of our elementary staff. And then we'll move through high school and middle school, early childhood, and our other support departments. And we're hopeful by the November PD day to have all of our staff through the full retraining. And we'll stay committed to training our new staff as soon as we can when they onboard, and also the full training for all of our staff every 3 years. Any questions on construction or school safety? Okay. So last, Mrs. Bonnick joined us this morning. Thank you. If you've been around here for a while, you know that I try to do these annual themes. And last year our theme was like a colossal home run, and people told me all spring, how are you going to top Choose Joy? So of course that created some anxiety for me, but I go on a journey typically from every February until August to just kind of let things resonate, have conversations with members of our staff. And so our theme for this year is purpose, and we're really asking our staff to kind of go on a journey to look at purpose through 3 perspectives: their own individual purpose, our purpose in terms of a collective group of people. That could be a department or team within a building, that could be our schools, but ultimately we're looking to glean what our purpose as an organization would be. These things are aligned with the values that we have in place, and so we spent some time this morning just casting kind of a vision for our staff. We'll have the opportunity for our staff members throughout this year at staff meetings and other professional development days to take a few minutes to make their purpose point, which will allow them to share their purpose with their colleagues and also talk about how they build purpose within our kids. So my purpose, our purpose, their purpose. We're going to spend some time this year around purpose. That's all I have.
Thank you. I did not receive any public comment. So we will move on to our action items, and our first one is Employee Services Resolution 63, which is in your board packet. May I have a motion? So moved. Can I have a support?
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or concerns? I moved. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is our SEC Shield contract, resolution number 64. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Moved and supported. And this is the one that we've talked about now twice, expand the SEC contract to add a director position. Any questions or concerns?
No.
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is Employee Services Resolution 65, which is a cook position. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or concerns? This is for Croswell.
No.
Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is Academic Services 66, which is the managerial accounting textbook. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Support.
Moved by Ikorst, supported by Antoine. This was discussed at our subcommittee meeting and outlined tonight at our notes. Are there any other questions or concerns? Comments? Nope. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is Academic Services Resolution 67, which is the lead-worthy curriculum for RMS Student Advisory. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Moved by Rice,
Support.
support by Ikorst. Are there any questions, concerns, or comments?
I have a comment. I sat down with the team this morning and we looked through this thing, and it's a great thing. I'm really impressed and I'm really grateful that although Character Strong didn't work out, you guys went back to the drawing board and dug through and dug in and found the absolute perfect everything for our kids. I mean, it really fits in with the new model that we're moving forward in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade with the nonprofits. I mean, it gels and it's a beautiful thing. And really excited, and I look forward to the next several years. Good job.
Anyone else? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is Facilities Resolution 68, which is change order approvals. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Support.
Moved by Rice, supported by Antoine. This is out of our 2021 facilities bond. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to Facilities Resolution 69, which is RHS pavement repairs. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Moved by Antoine, supported by Ikorst. Are there any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one is Board Resolution 70, which is our superintendent's contract. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Support.
Moved by Ikorst, supported by Rice. Any questions or concerns?
None.
I'll just make the comment for the community. This will be the 3-year contract for our superintendent that we've worked on over the course of the last couple months, because there were some changes in legislation that led to us having to do a full kind of contract overview. So with that, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? You're stuck with us. And
Thank you.
we're thankful for it. Any board discussion for the good of the district? I guess I would just say 2 things. One, I think it's very, I'm happy to see that we've done his contract and that we'll have Dr. Robinson for 3 years. Because I will say, I've attended many an opening day, both as a educator for 30-plus years. I've created opening days, so I understand the angst of pulling people together who are anxious to get in their classroom, who have about 100 million things on their mind. And I will say the hour spent today was fulfilling, was good. There was discussion times. It was almost like a little mini PD. I do think it can match and equally tie in the Choose Joy. So for me, it was really exciting to be there, and it kind of renewed even the work that I do, which isn't super fun always just sitting up here. I'm not with the kids, but it was really nice. And I'm hopeful that maybe you saw a little snapshot of it, but that we as board members can really stop and think about what our purpose is, what role we have at the level that we're at, and ask ourselves, that question and stay focused on it. For me, my purpose of being on the board is to continually support public education. I'm passionate about it. And I think as a board, it's our job to remove barriers so that the people that know how to do the job and be with students can do that and have the resources and the tools and the things that they need, and our kids can be successful. So hopefully we'll take time as a board to kind of think about that too, and just make sure that, we're staying focused on that. So with that,
No, I'm sorry,
Oh.
I'm going to echo that. I think that's really important that everybody up here and people that want to be up here really are clear and direct with their intentions and their purpose for why they do what they do. Just like we had a disagreement about a particular curriculum. We didn't agree, and that's my purpose. Sometimes we sit and we read through things and we say, oh, wait a minute, and then we go back and we find something even better and greater. And I think that's really important, that people don't lose themselves by just saying yes, yes, yes all the time. I think work is good for the soul.
Yes, I would just like to say, I'm sorry I missed this morning. I was welcoming my own students today, so fulfilling part of my purpose, but I love the theme. And I was wondering the same thing. How is he going to top Choose Joy? I thought maybe you'd do Choose Joy 2.0 because it was so good. But
Choose joy again.
yes, Choose Joy again. There you go. But thank you for all the work you do. So
all right, no public comment. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Support.
Moved by Rice, supported by Antoine. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, happy school year.